Rob and Slim Show.
Hey, it's Paul Ollinger.
Paul Ollinger, how you doing?
Good, man. How are y'all?
Good, good. Former Facebook executive turned comedian, right?
This is somewhat true, yes.
And author.
And yeah, most importantly. Are we live? Are we on the air? Are we streaming?
We're live right now.
All right, cool. Hello, everyone.
Well, you did comedy.
Slimland.
You did comedy before you worked for Facebook, and then got back into it, correct?
Yeah, I did comedy for 2 years in LA, and then got engaged and needed a job, and then fell into a job at Facebook, and that turned into be a very happy accident. And then did that for 4.5 years, and then got back into comedy a few years back here in Atlanta, where I live now.
What made you go back to comedy, and just leave Facebook?
Well, I had left Facebook a couple years before, and I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. And then I remembered how much I loved comedy, and I said, why the hell am I not doing that? I need to go back and be a comedian.
Nice.
And here I am. I'm sitting in the basement of the Laughing Skull Comedy Club this very moment.
Nice.
Waiting for a show later tonight.
Awesome. What time is that?
One at 8, one at 10:30. Big
Awesome.
Valentine's Day twofer on a Wednesday night.
Nice. I was going to ask you what you're doing for Valentine's Day. Now we know. Now we know.
Yes, my wife and I had a pre-Valentine's Day dinner last night. That was our. She's very cool about me working on things like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day.
That's cool. I say, like, if you're a mother, though, you should only choose one. You only get Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. You don't get both. Stop being greedy.
Well, you know what? It's not. You know, it's money well spent as a husband to take advantage of those days. It buys you out of a lot. Making somebody feel good buys you out of a lot of pain. So why not do it?
Yeah, that's true. How were you with?
What do you guys drinking tonight? Absinthe? Is it absinthe night tonight?
Yes, yep. Absinthe, and I got a Heineken, and these guys got Ship Bottom.
I got the Baconator Ship Bottom. Yeah.
Ship Bottom Brewery. It's a local brewery around here. They make a bacon ale.
The bacon stout.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Bacon, nice.
Yeah.
Bacon ale. How do we live without bacon in our beer before the craft brews started with all that?
Yeah, man,
bacon in everything.
That was a dark time. It was a dark time for America.
Indeed.
Were you at Facebook like when it started, Paul, or like how did that work?
No, I got there in 2007. I was about the 250th employee, so it was a couple years old, and. Yeah, so I wasn't at the beginning, but it was early. It was early-ish. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. You ever think about like I'm gonna sell your all the knowledge I have to Twitter or anything like that? Executive spy. That's what I'd want to be.
Well, there was an opportunity to go work for Twitter after I left, but
yeah.
I decided I was trying to live as an independent, non-corporate person. So,
nice.
But I'll tell you, it was so. Here's how early it was when I started. There's a little joke I tell about how early I started. It was so early that when my wife said, "Are you sure this company is going to turn into something?" I said, someday this company could be as big as MySpace.
Wow, yes. Holy shit, that's old.
Yeah, MySpace was bigger than Facebook by a lot.
I was kind of pissed. I was like, I liked MySpace.
Yeah,
I liked it. I was like, I'm not getting a Facebook. And then I'm like, all right, I got to get a Facebook. Got to get a Facebook.
MySpace was definitely better, though.
I don't know if it's better. They had different things, though. Like, I think they had a blog. Like, you can put a blog out on there. Like, they had some different shit. But
you really, like, made a page on MySpace where, like, Facebook, you just have your profile. It's not like a page. Like, you can't customize it as much, I don't think.
I don't care.
Yes, if you wanted like twirling stars and bad music.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can have sound
Hero
effects
theme.
on your page on MySpace.
I forget. It's been so long.
I miss the bad music.
I had like the theme to Kingdom Hearts or something on mine.
I had the
Right.
system just like blaring every time.
System of Down, nice.
What a shock.
That's right. That's right.
That's gonna be the next Facebook update now. You hear music when you click.
MySpace, your Facebook.
My Spacebook. I like that. They can merge.
Where are you guys?
We're in Jersey. We're about 45 minutes from Atlantic City.
Oh, nice. All right. Is it cool? Has it warmed up yet?
Today was like 50.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Balmy. Call me, folks.
How's it out there? You're in LA, right?
I'm in Atlanta now. I'm headed to Montreal tomorrow for the weekend. So it's warmish here. Montreal's going to be chilly, so broke out the big coat to take with me tomorrow.
Who are you performing with, Paul?
Joe Matarese is the headliner, from Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Nice, represent.
Yeah.
And your book is called You Should Totally Get an MBA.
That's right. It's a hot seller.
Is it? What
It was all right. It's a very specific target. You know, it's not exactly the Bible when it comes to targeting everybody on the planet. It's a very specific book for young professionals who may be thinking about, do I go back to school? Do I not? What should I do with my life to get my career off its ass? And so that was sort of the idea in writing it.
Yeah.
And that, to have a little fun with it, make it a little bit funny. It's the only NBA guidebook written by a full-time comedian, and there's probably a reason for that.
What was the main thing about it? Like, what's the main topic? Like, to get people motivated to go to school and do something?
I mean, kind of. It was like, look, when I was 24, 25, I was broke and going nowhere with my career, and I was thinking, well, what do I need to do? And I decided, hey, maybe going back to school and getting serious about going to a really good place would help kickstart things and help me focus on what I wanted to accomplish after school. And that's what happened. And I had a really positive experience with it. Now, I mean, forget the fact that now I'm not using it at all in my comedy career, but
yeah,
I had a really good, I had a very good career for 18 years. I'm very appreciative for the experience I had in business school. And a lot of people talk shit about the MBA today in Silicon Valley, and they say, oh, nobody needs one. And yet the number one industry hiring MBAs is the technology industry. So, so I don't find all that chatter about the lack of value in the MBA to ring true necessarily. And I wanted to add my voice to on the contrarian side of that argument.
I like that. Yeah, like I don't see how it can hurt. Like I don't see why people would disparage that.
Well, I mean, like a lot of education today, you can overspend getting degrees. There's a lot of people going to for-profit colleges, taking on all kinds of debt. And if they get out, which is the biggest thing, if they get out, most of them don't graduate, and if they do, it's not clear that the money they've spent on that degree is gonna pay them back in any way. So I think there is a lot of good conversation of like not every degree is going to pay you back for what you put into it from a tuition perspective.
Yeah.
So that's sort of you can overspend on an MBA just like you can on a lot of degrees. And by the way, I say all this in the book, and I'm trying to have an honest discussion, put all the cards on the table and say, hey, if you do borrow this money to go get one of these fancy degrees, you're going to have to pay it back. Don't be an asshole, and think that you're going to get out of it. So just be prepared to work for as long as it's going to take to, get yourself back to even,
Yeah, I got a friend that went to school for, like, he majored in math, and then he works at a funeral home. Like, I think he went for the degree just to get it. Like, he didn't really even want to work in anything associated with it, but I think he just wanted to get it.
2 coffins, 3 coffins. Yeah, I mean, like, look, mom and dad might pay for your fancy degree or whatever, but I mean, you still got to have a work ethic to go put it to use.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think he realized all the fields he would get into, he just wasn't crazy about, and he just wasn't that excited about it.
A degree in math these days, man, that should take you a long way if you want to put it to use. I mean, there's a big demand for some smart quantitative people out there in the Silicon Valley area. So maybe you should get out of the funeral home business and into the apps. It's all about the apps these days, guys.
We got to make one of those. We need a Robin
Should
Slim
make an app.
We're not even gonna do the show anymore, but we're gonna make a Robin Slim app.
Just
I think
gonna have
that's
the
right. Yeah.
Download it.
Robin Slim app. What does it do? Is it locates the nearest bar? Is that what your app does? Robin Slim's bar finder.
Brothels, bars, and bar mitzvahs.
Yes. More importantly, it gets you home after you go to the bar. That's probably a more valuable app. Take me home, Robin Slim.
We can have like our own like driving service too. Like what's that? Like
Uber.
like Uber, yeah.
Uber.
It's Robin Slimmer. Something. Robin Sluber. Robin Sluber.
Like
And it's Slambo. Our intern is gonna be driving.
He's the only driver we hired.
And he's only gonna be drinking absinthe during this whole drive.
What's the
Smoking a
job
doobie.
description? Drive me home. That's your job description.
I like the idea that it's
I
really
wake up,
rare.
If I
Like,
wake up in the gutter, you're fired.
because we only have one driver, you're really, really lucky if you actually get picked up.
Oh, jeez, Paul. I was gonna say I love your tweets. You're really bold. I loved your tweet towards Sean Hannity. I was gonna ask if when you worked at Facebook, did you ever post anything that they were like, "Look, you got to get this. You got to delete this post, Paul. It's too edgy."
Well, it's funny you say that because one of the regrets I have about Twitter is not starting earlier. Because when I was at Facebook, it just sort of seemed like I'd be a bit disloyal to use the platform.
Yeah.
And I don't think nobody ever said anything to me about it. I don't think they ever would have, unless I had like my Twitter handle on my Facebook business card or whatever. But
Yeah.
if I'd have started earlier, I think I'd have been able to. Just have more followers and stuff, but I probably wouldn't have been as bold when I was employed, because now I can say whatever. Because now I can say whatever I want to say, and not where nobody's going to fire me. I mean,
Yeah.
so so it's nice to have the freedom to be able to say what you want to say, and sometimes Twitter is effective in getting it out there.
Yes, it's a good way to grow too. Like like you said, like it's pretty cool to build up any sort of creative project.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think social media's been, it's a fun way to figure out how to, create a statement or a joke or an image or whatever in a short burst of comedy. It's a different format than spending a half hour on stage and trying to explain your point of view on the world.
What's one of the craziest things you've seen performing stand up?
Oh, one time I was hosting at the Improv in either Irvine or Brea, California, which is like Orange County, and like 3 minutes before the show's supposed to start, paramedics run in and start pumping on this guy's chest in like the fifth row.
Wow.
And the lights are on and there's all this commotion, and the club manager's like, "Okay, you're on." And so I've got to go on stage with a woman having a heart attack or a dude having a heart attack, like, right in front of the stage. Nobody's listening to me.
You're trying to be revived. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so new at the time that I don't know that, like, I really need to acknowledge the 800-pound gorilla who's having cardiac arrest right in front of me. And so I'm like just sitting there going like, you know what I hate about computers? Nobody's listening to me at all. It was horrible. And then one time I had a signer, sign language woman in the crowd or on the stage next to me, because there was a large contingent of deaf people in the crowd, and so that was a real treat.
That's
to look, when you've got a punchline with blowjob in it, you look over at her doing the sign, and then look to the audience and see the audience laugh. That was an interesting way to see your work interpreted.
That's really funny. We need one of those on the show. We need a signer, like at the end of the table, just for our deaf audience.
If you guys cared, you would have one.
We
Come on,
would.
you assholes.
We're a real bunch of assholes. I was gonna say with the EMTs, you should have started heckling the EMTs while they were trying to revive the guy. Like,
That's right.
I don't try to do your job. Stop stealing my thunder.
See, I was gonna say you just make fun of the guy that's having a heart attack. Look at this asshole.
You can't go that blue.
Yeah, get that guy on a gurney. Get him out of here.
Making too much noise.
Too many gurgles. He's
Like-
gurgling too much.
I don't like the way he's twitching.
It's that last gurgle that gets you.
Oh, shit. And Paul, I was gonna ask too, what advice would you have for somebody just starting out in comedy?
Go get an MBA and never look back. Don't get out of comedy as quickly as you possibly can.
Nice.
I mean, I've had people give me that advice. Seriously, look, if you want to do it, just be prepared for it to be a very long road. You know, like it's a 10-year journey before you're ever really, at a place where you got anything. So be patient, work hard, get out there, and don't expect anything to happen anytime soon. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
But it's there's a lot of really funny people out there, and there's only so many stages. So you got to work really hard to earn your way to being a proficient nobody.
Yeah, that's the same with podcasting. I can't tell you how many people message me like I don't got enough listens, like I'm gonna quit or something. Like, yeah, no, you're not gonna get huge. You're not gonna be Stern. You're not.
How many? So everybody tells me I need to make a podcast, and I keep saying look, until I have an idea that I'm committed to making 200 episodes with nobody listening, it's not worth doing it. Is that? I mean, would you say it's 200? How many episodes should you make before you quit? What's a fair shot at a podcast?
We haven't reached 200 yet. We're
not at 200.
We're almost there. We're 150, so we're getting there.
I would say 30. I don't know. It was even longer than that. I would think. At the beginning, we were doing it for 2 friends on Facebook. I can't really say how long it took. Maybe because we did before this too. We did about a year as a different show because we had another guy. So maybe about 2 years. It started to get a decent following and a decent audience.
Right. So you might as well do something. And you guys seem like you're hanging out with your buddies, you're drinking beer, you're having a good time.
Yeah.
So you might as well find something that's worth doing anyway. And if it ends up getting an audience, then great. But the reward is doing it, not waiting to be discovered. Right. I mean, because if you wait to be discovered, you're gonna.
Yeah. That's it. Like I said, just having fun with your buddies. If you're doing it for fun, if it's something you enjoy, then do it. If not, don't pursue. Don't expect to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
It aggravates me because I see people who will start a YouTube channel and they'll do one video. I'll just be like, oh great, nobody's commenting on it. I can't even get a like or a dislike. What the fuck?
I looked earlier at our all-time analytics on YouTube, and we have a little over 1,000 likes and about 500 dislikes, and I'm pretty proud of that.
That's good. I like that.
That's more likes than that is.
Well,
good.
it's more, but I also like that there's a substantial.
There's a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
So there's
It's
1,500 people that interacted.
Right.
What's that, Paul?
It's better than being ignored.
Yeah.
Yes.
But with
hate
that
me
said,
or love me, that's pretty much it's still a strong emotion.
But with that said, if you can't deal with being ignored, then just don't do it because you're gonna have to deal with a lot of being ignored.
YouTube is one of the slowest builds for us.
Yeah.
Twitter grew fast, Facebook's decent, even our iTunes and Podbean. But YouTube is a really slow grind, really oversaturated with everything.
Yeah. I haven't even worked on my YouTube. I've got stuff up on Vimeo, and I know I have some stuff on YouTube. I just haven't looked at it in a long time. It's at a certain point you got to pick what you're going to really focus on, and
and audience
put your effort
retention.
into growing one channel.
Yeah, audience retention is really low. We used to originally, like I said, when we did the other show, someone put up the whole show on YouTube, and people were watching 5 minutes. Yeah. So that's when we decided to just put individual interviews and some bits up on our YouTube.
Yeah, or take 10 minutes of highlights from your hour or whatever it is, and make it really high impact.
Yup, exactly.
So are you guys Eagles fans or Jets fans or what?
I don't watch football.
Yeah, I'm not into football.
Slambo?
I kind of I get into I'll watch the games with my buddy at my buddy's house.
Super Bowls or just any game?
The Super Bowls, the playoffs.
Who do you like?
I'll usually cheer for the Giants or the Steelers.
Yeah, I think my family's mostly Giants fans.
But I mean, it's not it's not something that's like important to me. You know?
Me neither. What about you, Paul?
Yeah. I watch every Falcons game, but I say I'm not a fan, and yet somehow I still turn it on every Sunday. So
Nice.
I just, I'm like from week one, I'm prepared for disappointment, and I'm just, God is merciful in that He let the Falcons lose in the playoffs instead of crushing us in the Super Bowl again this year.
I can't believe the Phillies won though. Like I was happy for my friends. Like it was good to see people happy around here, and just that they
sure.
never won before.
I was at a certain point, I was like, okay, I want to stay up and watch the Super Bowl for two reasons. One, my buddy Howie, I wanted to see him happy. He was at the game. He's from Philly. And number two, I want to see Tom Brady cry. And it was so satisfying. On both levels.
I heard that it was.
And I know that makes me a small person. But I'm okay with that. I've learned to live with
I
it.
think everyone wants to see Tom Brady cry.
Who was one of my buddies said, who's the comedian that just got crazy like on the live airing of it? Was it D.L. Hughley or no? I don't know. I forget who he said. Who's the guy that does stuff with Fallon? And
with who?
He just wrote a book not too long ago.
Stanhope?
No, black comedian.
Oh.
He wrote a book.
Sherrod Small?
Drawing a
Maybe?
break.
No,
No.
Sherrod has his own show.
He did a lot of stuff on Fallon show with the lip syncs and stuff.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, supposedly he got crazy on like the live TV and had to apologize. I forget what he did, but
that's funny. Funny.
Oh man. What else is going on out there, Paul? Where'd you say you were again?
I'm in Atlanta.
What's your favorite city to perform in?
Well, wherever I am, I mean, Atlanta's home.
Okay.
So I love the club here. The Laughing Skull Lounge is awesome. I do like maybe 8 shows here a month, and then the first 4 months of this year, I was in Detroit last month. I'm in Montreal, Philly, Phoenix, Hartford. So look, man, I'm just trying to get booked wherever I can right now, and I'm excited to go to perform wherever I get the opportunity to go say my words in front of people.
Yeah.
So. Detroit was a lot of fun. There's a great club there called the Comedy Castle in Royal Oak. It's 400 people for 2 shows on Saturday night. It was great. So
Nice.
I mean, this whole thing is just like, it's all gravy, man. It's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And like I was saying before, the reward is just being able to do it.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Paul, I'm curious. Can we ask you why you left Facebook?
Well, a variety of reasons, but I think I got to the point where my heart wasn't in it, and if your heart's not in it at a place like that, which is, I mean, in retrospect, I should have found a way to keep my heart in it for a few years, but I mean, I was really looking to try to find something else that was more about me, and I think that I wanted to come back and get into the writing and get into the comedy. I was scared to do it for a couple of years after I left, and I just dicked around for a couple of years. I even took another job a year and a half after I left Facebook, and I just was scared that I was never gonna be able to work again. And then I realized I didn't really want to work again in the corporate world. I wanted to go be a comic and a writer, and that's what I ended up making happen after I sacked up and made the decision to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I was gonna ask too. Can you tell us any dirt on Mark Zuckerberg?
I probably could come up with something that would be controversial, but I'll tell you, he's unbelievable.
Solid
I mean,
guy.
back in the day, he would have Friday meetings, all hands meetings, and he would sit there and just talk about the world that he saw, the world that he envisioned. And I mean, the guy's 15 years younger than me, and I met him a few times, talked to him a few times, but I can't say that I know him. But just listening to him and the other engineers talk about the world that they envision, I'd sit there and my mind would be blown on a weekly basis. And I'm a decently smart guy, but these guys are like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates smart, and it was fucking cool to work there. I'm telling you, there was some neat shit that happened. It wasn't always easy. It was frustrating a lot of the times, but like, that's the part I missed when I left, was being a part of that team that was changing the world and listening to this next generation of people that were like blow your mind fucking smart. Wow. So, I mean, I could say something something rude, but like, but the truth of the matter is, it's not an accident that dude is doing what he's doing.
He's where he is. He's right where he belongs.
And then I had one more.
Yeah, I mean, like the rest of us are dumb. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
I have one more thing I wanted to ask, because earlier you had said that you had an opportunity to work for Twitter. So did you like leave Facebook and then some guy in like a fucking bird outfit shows up at your house and he's like, come to Twitter?
No. I mean, look, the industry it's not that big, right? And so, like, if you've got experience working for some of the leading companies, you're always talking to the other people, and you know who each other are, and you see them at conferences, and there's always sort of this, hey, if you're ever interested, and the best people have worked for Twitter and Facebook. I worked at Yahoo before I did comedy the first time. That's when I saved enough money to actually go do comedy. And so, like, a lot of the people, I got hired at Facebook by people I worked with at Yahoo. So there's a lot of hiring people you used to work with, and everybody, you know somebody at all the top places. And so there was never a formal offer, but there was always sort of like, hey, if you were interested, kind of thing.
Nice, dude. Paul, we have to wrap this up, but thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me on your show, gentlemen. Best of luck for you guys and all that you do.
You too, brother. And where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Paul_OLLINGER. Paul_Ollinger is probably the best way, or at paulollinger.com.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Y'all have a great one. Take it easy.
Take care, man.
Too, man.